Let's chill ASMR. Hi everyone, and welcome to Let's Chill product reviews. Today I am excited to show off the brand new Nitro deck from CRKD. So I got the retro purple version with the carrying case. So these come in all different colors. I got the retro purple because it reminds me of GameCube, so it's even kind of got the thumbsticks that are reminiscent of a GameCube. So this limited edition version goes for $89.99, while the version without the carrying cases, there's like a white and a black, those go for $59.99. What is the Nitro deck? It's basically a dock for your Nintendo Switch that gives you kind of better ergonomics as far as holding on to it. It's a little more comfortable than the Joy-Cons. So the Nitro deck uses Hall effect joysticks. So if you don't know what those are, basically they run with electromagnets instead of your traditional joystick kind of rubbing up against a sensor to give you your output. These just use magnets to determine where the joystick is. So they claim stick drift free, so 0% chance of you getting stick drift. Maybe 99.9%. I have never heard of Hall effect joysticks ever getting stick drift, so one big plus side to the Nitro deck. Now, one thing before we dive into it, I could not wait to get this open and try it, so it will be less of an unboxing video and more of a just straightforward review from me. But before we get into it, this is not a sponsored video in any way, shape, or form. I'm not affiliated with CRKD, so this is just my thoughts on the product. So upon opening it, see, let's say CRKD limited edition. There's not going to be much inside because I've already opened it, but we'll get to it. And I'll give you a nice little QR code here. They do something kind of different. Their product is a way of registering it. They have you download this app, and this QR code will take you straight there. So upon opening the app, it's kind of an interesting way that they have you register the product. It kind of, there's a little bit of fanfare, a kind of cool little video that kind of shows you what you bought, and they give each product a certain rarity. It actually tells you along the production line what number yours was out of how many they've made so far. So it's kind of an interesting little addition to registering the product. That's the box. Who cares? Moving on. So I have mine all bundled up in the limited edition case that they give you. It's a pretty nice case. It fits the Nitro deck and your Switch tablet pretty well. Give it a little open here. So, first looks at the case. We have a little bit of extra storage up top for maybe like some cords. I actually use mine for this little charger bank that I use to charge it. Fits perfectly in there, so that kind of worked out for me pretty well. So, and then you'll have your 8 cartridge slots here to put your games in, so I'm glad they included that. And then we have the Nitro deck itself in all its glory. It is very, very, very good looking. I love the purple one. They did a limited run of some transparent colors, which I think would have been cool, but I think I was a little too late to the party on that, so I got the purple one. So, first looks at this thing, it's a beast. It's solid. It feels good in the hands. I'll kind of go over some of the features and why this product may or may not be for you. So, I've taken the liberty of pulling the Switch tablet out. So you can see here we have a USB-C connection, so they claim there's 0 latency in any of the games that you're going to be playing. So that's kind of nice. It doesn't run off Bluetooth or anything like that. So there is a little bit of power draw from this device, from your Switch, by using this USB-C, but it is not much in what I've seen so far. Kind of looking at some of the buttons on this device. It's got a couple of back triggers here for your ZR and your ZL buttons. They feel pretty good. As far as I know, the Switch doesn't have analog, as far as I can tell, but these kind of feel like analog triggers. They do go down. There's a little bit of travel, as you can see, but I'm pretty sure it's all just one input. I could be wrong. And then on top of that, we have your LNR, and I am kind of on the fence about how these feel. They feel good. They're just kind of noisy. Just a little bit too noisy for my taste. I noticed I like to play in bed. My girlfriend was trying to sleep the other night, and I was just wondering if I was going to wake her up by hitting these, because these are kind of loud. But honestly, other than that, that's my only gripe with the buttons. They all feel really good. You got the A, B, X, Y face buttons right here. And they feel really good. They sound really good. You got your plus and minus, which are thankfully not shaped like the plus and minus like on the Joy-Cons. I am not too fond of those, just they're a little harder to press and find for somebody with big hands, such as myself. And then you have your analog, and this one's yellow to mimic kind of the C-stick from the GameCubes, and these are actually swappable. They give you a couple of different toppers to use. I didn't grab the toppers, I don't have them on me, but they look just like this, just with a different pattern on top of them. So yeah, just in case you ever wear these out or they get worn down or dirty, you can always replace them. I think they'll probably sell some more customizable toppers in the future. So, and then the real cool thing about the product, so they have these back buttons which are programmable. There's a little program button down here. You can actually program these to whatever buttons you like. So that's super neat. And they sound really good too, if you're into that sort of thing. And then a couple more features here on the back. We have this lovely kickstand. I think we all know the Switch has kind of a weak kickstand unless you got the OLED like I do. But it's got this really awesome kickstand, which is very sturdy. No gripes with that. I don't use the kickstand on the Switch very often, so I can't see myself using it a lot, but it's good to know that it's there in case, you ever do want to use it. So there's kickstand. And then on the back, you're going to see we have an input and an output, so this actually does do pass-through charging. So you see that's the input right here. I believe the output can be used for like your HDMI, your signal out to a television. So I haven't tried that yet, but I'm gonna guess that's what that's for. But it does have pass-through charging. I actually have one of these little magnetic USB-C connectors, just because I don't like to, I'm kind of picky about it. I don't like to wear down USB-C inputs, so I actually like to use these little connectors and just snap a little magnet on them. It's kind of nice. So yeah, there are all the buttons on the Nitro deck. So I'll just show you how it slots in. So yeah, I have the Scarlet and Violet Pokemon Switch version here. The screen's a little dirty. So yeah, it just easily slides right in, and then it'll have a nice little satisfying click at the end. Alright, let's turn on the device with the Nitro deck. As you can see, this little light will turn on once you start to press an input, and then that'll let you know it's on, and then it works just like your Joy-Cons would. One thing to note before you use the device, you will have to go down into the system settings, scroll all the way down to controllers and sensors, and turn on Pro Controller Wired Communication, and that will make it able for you to use the USB-C port to run a controller off. So that'll make this thing work. I've been using this for about a week, and I can tell you there is no lag in any of the games I've tested, so it works very well. So moving on to comfortability of this device, I will say is a vast improvement over using just stock Joy-Cons that the Switch has. I was never a fan of the Joy-Cons, especially somebody with big hands. My hands would cramp up, even after like 20 minutes of gameplay, so this is a big step up. One thing to note with the Nitro deck is that the joysticks follow the Joy-Con configuration with the joysticks, and that they're kind of kitty corner from one another, up and down like this, which I am not a huge fan of. It wasn't comfortable on the Joy-Cons. It is a little more comfortable using the Nitro deck with that configuration, but I kind of wish that they would have went with a straight across approach with the joysticks. So should you buy this product? That's the big question. So gotta look at some of the pros and cons and a few other little points of interest here. Nintendo Switch 2 is rumored to come out next year around September. And again, that's just a rumor. I doubt it'll be able to support the Nitro deck. It'll probably be a whole new form factor. I could be wrong. A lot of speculation up in the air, so who knows what's going to happen with that. Something to keep in mind. We'll just go over some of the pros of this device. Obviously, one, way more comfortable over Joy-Cons, vastly improved over using those things, especially if you have a large hand. So that right there is a big plus and a big reason to buy this thing. Number two, it retains a lot of functionality without losing a whole lot. I mean, you still have a joystick. If anything, you get more with the two back buttons. You do have pass-through charging, which is a big plus and a reason why I pulled the trigger, to be honest. So yeah, plus it just looks great. It feels great in the hands, looks great, it feels durable. I can't really say if I drop this thing it would shatter, but it feels really good. One thing to note that I forgot, as far as functionality goes, the Nitro deck actually does rumble as well. So when the rumble would occur in your games, it does do that. However, it's not like there aren't varying levels to it. It's not strong or weak, fast or slow. Kind of is just one setting for the rumble. So one thing to notice, it has it. It's not perfect, but it does have rumble. Going over the price points again, the base version, $59.99, doesn't include anything but the Nitro deck. This one, $89.99. You get the carrying case, you get an extra USB-C cable, and then you get two swappable thumbstick toppers. For that case, I think it's a good deal. I like to keep all of my portables in cases to keep them protected, so kind of the reason why I pulled the trigger on that. So moving on to a few cons of the device. If you want to put your Switch into your original Nintendo Switch dock to use on the television, you will have to pull it out of the Nitro deck every time. So it's actually pretty easy to do. There's this little button on the back, or this little lever. You're going to pull this up and then pop the Switch out. So not too big of a con, but just something a little more inconvenient if you do want to end up playing it on your television. Another con of the Nitro deck is it does use a little bit extra battery life just to power the device. Like it's running off this little LED, and then the controller does need power for it to run. So you'll notice you won't get as good battery life, but really not noticeable. And then the third con, and there's not many, just this thumbstick configuration. I just don't find it to be very comfortable. You kind of gotta weirdly shift your hand off the triggers to kind of, maybe it's just a me thing, but I think I've seen some other people online say the same thing about it. But I just don't think it's the most ideal controller configuration, but I'm just being nitpicky. But yeah, overall, super great device. I think it's worth the money. I spent a little bit more money because I really wanted this cool GameCube purple. I couldn't resist, which is why I pulled the trigger on the more expensive version. So maybe that's not for you. Maybe spending the $90 isn't for you. You don't care so much about the color or the extra carrying case. In that case, they do have varying other colors, especially in the $60 price range. You can get the gray, the white, or the black edition. And then available right now with the carrying case, they have the retro purple, the classic gray with like the Super Nintendo buttons, which is pretty cool, and then the retro mint color. So overall, love the device. I think CRKD did a fantastic job. Again, with Switch 2 coming out, maybe soon, maybe they're a little late to the party with this, but I think if you're a Switch fan, you love your Switch, you want something a little more comfortable, with a few little extra bells and whistles, this would be great addition for your Nintendo Switch. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, just for ease of use and the features, comfortability, and yeah, the way it looks. It's awesome. You can pop that kickstand up and display it on a bookshelf and wow all your friends. So I think it's great. And once again, I am not affiliated with CRKD anyway. I'm not getting paid for this, and I bought this with my own money. So this is just an honest review on what I think about this product after using it for a little bit. So I'll leave a link in the description to CRKD and the Nitro deck. You can check it out and pick one of these up for yourselves if you would like. On that note, check out the Nitro deck. I'm gonna get out of here.